The Republican-led Senate Homeland Security Committee voted yesterday to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. The panel voted along party lines to rebuke Fauci for asserting his Fifth Amendment right more than 100 times during congressional testimony last week. The vote marks the start of what could become a long, drawn-out legal battle that potentially could include hefty fines, even prospect of jail time. An attorney for Dr. Fauci yesterday called the vote a crude political stunt intended to punish the doctor for exercising his constitutional rights. Also responding was the Surgeon General who served during the first Trump administration. Dr. Jerome Adams posted on social media, quote, "Honest question. If a Republican Congress pursues the criminal conviction of a former public health official over contested decisions made during a crisis, are Democrats then justified in doing the exact same thing to former health officials the next time they're in power? Where does it end?" Adams added, "Meanwhile, current and deadly outbreaks many experts say are being mishandled or worsened by current health federal policy decisions, measles, cyclospora, Ebola, and Legionnaire's disease." Joining us now, physician and senior public health contributor for Forbes, Dr. Omer Awan. Doctor, good to have you with us. Kind of extraordinary from the the Surgeon General from the first Trump administration to come out so strongly that way against the current Trump administration. What's your assessment, first of all, of this contempt vote, not necessarily from the political side of Dr. Fauci, but from what he has said about the origins of the COVID pandemic, about how it started? There is some dispute still, as you know, around that. And then of the focus of this administration, not on the problems that Adams laid out there, but on going after people like Dr. Fauci.
Well, Willie, it's certainly been politicized, and that's really the issue here. You know, public health should never be politicized. And what we really should be doing is focusing on how health and public health can get better in the future. We currently have many outbreaks. We have an active cyclosporiasis outbreak. We have an active measles outbreak that is resulting in more deaths than we've seen in over 3 decades. So, to hold Dr. Fauci, who's a public servant, who has, dedicated his life to making lives better, to saving lives, is not a good use of time. It's not a good use of taxpayer dollars. And we need to do better to really strengthen public health and to improve our public health infrastructure.
So, Doctor, the new director of the CDC, Dr. Erica Schwartz, has been confirmed by the Senate. This is a moment we were sitting down, you're talking in the break here, where I think the public has grown really leery of the information that the federal government is giving them, the national health apparatus is conveying, not sure what to trust, not sure what to believe. Do you think this new CDC director will help?
Well, listen, John, I think, first of all, she is extremely talented. She's very deserving of this. She's a physician. She served as a deputy surgeon general during the first Trump administration. She believes in vaccines. She believes in evidence-based medicine. So definitely very qualified. But there are a lot of considerations, a lot of challenges, one of which is, will she have autonomy to make the decisions that she wants independently? If we remember with Susan Menarez, last year, she was fired because she didn't rubber stamp a lot of Secretary Kennedy's decisions.
So let's underline that right there. Just the idea that, she just said it. She promotes vaccines. Does that, Robert Kennedy is a skeptic, to say the least. Is that the concern here? Like, how does that relationship work going forward?
Well, it's a concern, and we don't know how that's going to play out because, Dr. Schwartz is for vaccines. And of course, we know Secretary Kennedy is not. And that may result in conflict. And I think the bigger issue here, John, is will she be able to restore trust in public health and vaccines? A recent poll from the Harvard School of Public Health showed that 50% of Americans no longer trust the CDC. They no longer trust the guidance that's coming out of the CDC. So it's really up to her to, be transparent. Americans want transparent, clear, evidence-based recommendations. And it's up to her to, bring that forth to the CDC. And we'll see. I'm very optimistic. I think that she hopefully will. And we need this. Americans desperately need guidance from the CDC.
One of the tragedies of this last decade or plus is the weakening of American institutions. And I think you're right. The CDC and the health agencies in this country, that's particularly hard for people to see that. So we're used to headlines in this Trump administration of health research being slashed, new ideas being scrapped. But there was this week the new mRNA flu shot. It looks like it was approved by the FDA. Or is this something that's there are some who believe very optimistic as to what this could mean? What's your read?
I think it's very optimistic. I'm very encouraged by this because, really the benefit of the mRNA technology is speed. If you take a look at the traditional flu vaccine, it can take 6, 7, 8 months to develop because what you're doing is that you are growing a live virus in the lab or in an egg, and that can take a very long time. With the mRNA technology, you can make the vaccine in 2 or 3 months because you only need genetic sequencing. You don't need to grow a live virus. And what that means is that you can then match the vaccine with a circulating strain of the flu, which allows for better protection. If you remember with a traditional vaccine, the flu vaccine, it's usually made 7, 8 months before flu season even starts. So when we get time to the flu season, the virus is likely mutated and it doesn't offer protection. So when you have a new mRNA vaccine, that can then be tailored to the circulating strain and it can protect a lot more Americans much better.
All right, that's good news. Flu season will be here before we know it. Dr. Omer Awan, doctor, thanks so much. We appreciate your insights this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks, Will.